if I die tomorrow, I hope you hear these words. I ain't here to flip no birds or sip no serve. Hope the future generations can get this urge. Stay woke, youngin', and avenge these nerds.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is your boy Sebastian.
It's your boy Law.
And your boy Tone from across the hall, on the road, in a delay.
You're also still across the bridge, I feel like.
I'm past the bridge. I went under the tunnel.
Got it.
Okay. So
And
you're
always
almost there.
return. Wait, Val, you gotta jump in there too.
Oh, my bad. It's VMAC. Hi.
You gotta get a little speed. You gotta be like, it's V-Mac.
Eventually, I'll get there eventually.
You gotta get there.
Come on,
V-Mac is returning as always. Anyway, guys, it is Tuesday night. We're excited because we have a great episode for you. We have a great creator that's coming on the show.
Lots about today.
Oh yeah. Ooh, there is.
Yes.
Attack on Titan, Moonknight. We may even talk about Morbius. Because
We can totally talk about Morbius. Did we all watch?
No, absolutely not.
What do you mean absolutely?
Wait, did you watch
That
it?
shit was trash.
I watched this. Well, relax. Jared Leto is the redeeming part of the movie. The story sucked, but for the most part, it was okay.
I heard
Yes,
that
I watched it.
scene
I
made
will
no
never
sense.
ever miss a Marvel movie. I don't care if it's good or bad. So,
You gotta welcome back from Michelle.
hey, Michelle, how are you? They
You're a
missed me
better
last
person
week.
now.
They missed me last week. That's Seabass' fault. It's Seabass' fault that I wasn't here.
Yeah, blame me. Go
We
right
won't
ahead.
talk
That's
about
it.
that.
I mean,
We
I was gonna
won't talk
blame
about
me
that.
and Tone blame you anyways. I don't know where you thought you were not gonna get blamed for anything that happens, so it just is what it is at this point.
It's the face. It's the face. It's the face. It's all the face. There we go. But let's get into some announcements real quick. The announcements. Boom, boom, boom. So make sure you guys are tuning in every Tuesday. Yes, we are kind of on Facebook now, as again back on Facebook because Facebook is not being finicky anymore. So yes, hi Facebook.
Gasp!
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
I know.
Facebook loves this
shocking.
again. Get out of here.
It's because of all the metaverse hate. So they're like, yo, we need to bring back the nerds. That's why. Second is that make sure you guys tune in into the Medusa's Cascade D&D podcast every Saturday.
Oof.
Listen to it on Spotify, wherever you can listen to it, InBeyond.com. Also, too, August 20th and 21st, InBeyondCon is back, the virtual show that keeps on, again, making a connection for creators to fans and everybody. So it's the greatest network show that is out there. It is going on its third virtual year. So make sure you guys have the date saved, August 20th and 21st. Again, the VIP stuff that's going out this year for it. It is going to be built really big. There's going to be a lot of great stuff in there, so you definitely want to get your VIP.
Nice.
Next.
You also have a show. We have a spin-off show for that. No?
Oh yeah. I was getting into that. See.
Got you.
Make sure you guys are following the Beyond YouTube channel. So every month there's going to be a new episode that comes out. Last week it's called Three Creators. Last week it was Sam Vera, it was Michael Gracia and Matt Shore, who you've all seen on Nerds and Around. They got together. Again, it's a show with three creators talking it out and everything about the creative process and just geeking out. And it's just three creators, no host, no script, just three creators just talking. So there's already 2 episodes out. The first one was with Chandra Free, George Medina, and Rodney Fike. You can go see those on demand now at the Beyond YouTube channel. That's it for announcements. What did I do?
Nice. Well done. That was probably your best announcements that you've done in a while, kid. I'm proud of
It
you.
was pretty clean.
I give Cape May credit for that. Let's go. Cape May Brewery.
Gold stars
Jeez.
for you today.
So we without further ado,
Shameless
we
plug.
hopefully they'll sponsor and send me cases. Come on.
Listen, if looking for sponsors, Monster, like hook me up, like you guys are my life source. What's up? It's your boy.
But
I'll just take Cafe Bustelo. Coffee.
there-
I'll take that for sponsorship too.
That and a ninja is awesome.
Listen, well, what's up?
And-
Talk to me.
So without further ado, we want to bring a creator that's coming on as a guest. It's going to be her first time on Nerds. We want to give her a big warm welcome. She has a great comic that's out called Path of the Pale Rider. If you guys love zombies, if you love all that stuff and all of horror, and you love great art in a comic and love great writing, the Kickstarter is coming out. The Kickstarter is there in the link, so make sure you go there, give her your money, because we got to read the first few pages of this book, and you're gonna want to give her your money, especially after you meet her today. So we want to give it up for the one, the only Laurie Calcaterra. What's up?
Almost.
Almost.
And then, like,
Almost.
came up
You
in the
kind of
camera.
bailed right at the
Almost.
end there. Hi, everybody. I'm Laurie Calcaterra. I'm your indie
Welcome.
comic
Welcome to
creator
the
and
show.
nerd. I fit
Don't-
in right with you.
Don't feel
Yay.
bad. You should have seen me when I had to say the names in Game of Thrones. It was just bad.
Oh God, I'm not looking forward to it in August.
Yo, so
First of all-
honestly, that's like his. It's bad that it's his thing, but it's a thing that just happens with him. He's not good with names, and it just is what it is.
I can't even
Well,
say
we
my
got
own
a
name.
He's bad with
Woohoo
pronouncing
from
words,
Michelle.
period.
That's fair. And we gotta hey
Hello,
Laurie from Allison.
Allison. I was on Allison's podcast yesterday.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, hey.
Yeah,
Welcome, welcome.
glad to see her. Hello.
So
We
Laurie,
like bonded yesterday, so it was cool.
dude,
Yay.
that's awesome.
Nice.
It's always awesome when you get to bond with your guests and everybody. Like just like
Yeah.
it's that network, because everybody wants to see you like succeed and everything. Again, I
Yeah,
want to
that's
thank
so
you
cool.
for coming on and everything. So we like to ask our guests and everything, especially when you come on the show, what is your origin story? Like your
Mine?
superhero origin story. How did you get into comics? How did this comic become it get involved with making this great book here? Please give us your story.
Okay, all right. So, back when I was 17, I started doing martial arts. And I've been doing martial arts. Yes, Allison, we totally bonded. So, I've been training martial arts for 25 years. And I actually was choreographing fight scenes for a production company in Detroit called Coattail Collective.
Ooh.
So, we were choreographing like music videos and just stuff in the background. And my team and I, we just kind of looked at each other and we were like, we can do this. So I wrote a short film. It was the first thing I ever wrote, and there's like no plot to it. It's just like a 7-minute fight, like a demo video to kind of showcase like some of the things that we're good at. So it's like a wall run, and we have like extended knife fight, gun disarms, I hit hockey with car, I do a bunch of really cool stuff. The production company liked what I was doing and actually brought me on to write content. So I wrote a web series for them called The Agency, which is more of like a spy drama.
I think I heard that.
I'll be here all night. The Agency?
I think I
Really?
did. I think I did.
Because we were promoting it. We filmed the pilot, but it didn't go anywhere because I ended up getting relocated from Michigan to Texas.
Okay.
So it didn't go forward. But I wrote 2 seasons of that. So that was kind of like my first time writing sequential story, right? I got involved in this idea of like what would happen if things didn't die anymore. And I just built the whole world. So I built, all the rules, the technology, the fall of society, like the problems that are going to happen. Because when in this world, when you die, your body dies, but your soul is stuck in your body as you decay. So you're still you, but you slowly descend into madness because your brain is decaying. So you either get violent or forgetful or indifferent. I mean, it hits everybody differently, just like if you have like a brain injury or a degenerative disease in this world.
Right.
That's kind of how it works.
So you don't completely zombie out. It's slowly zombies you out.
Give it a little bit of
Well, you don't. Yes, you're not like you're not cannibalistic, family. That's not how it is. It's
Right.
like you die on Sunday and on Monday, and that in itself is horrible too.
Oh my
Like,
god.
No one wants to go to work after they die.
Nobody wants to
No.
do that, right? So,
Yo,
but it's like
I'm
it's
gone, just
people.
leave me. Don't wake me
I
up.
know. Don't, right? Ugh.
That's
But it's
rude.
people, it's animals, it's insects, it's everything. So we have like a myriad of problems. We have overpopulation. We have a food chain issue because animals are still animated. So it's like you can't butcher a cow anymore because they'll kick your butt. Right?
Oh my
Huh?
god. You just brought up so many like
Right.
So many
Oh.
questions, right? And I want to hear what you guys think. And because I've been getting so many different takes on what this world is like, and it's so cool to hear everybody's take on it. So, but what if, okay, I was saying this in another podcast, chicken, we probably butcher a chicken because it's small enough, but would the meat move?
Ooh, can you just imagine that?
It's
So
no longer attached to the what actually causes
central nervous
bodily
system and all that other
function.
stuff, possibly.
It could still move. In this world,
Oh
my God.
wow!
so now,
so
It
at
doesn't
what
die.
level
It doesn't
does
die.
something not exist anymore? Like you basically
Nope.
have to.
There is none.
you're stuck. You're a pile of bones.
Wow.
You're in your pile of bones.
Wait,
Oh
even down to
my.
the bones. So like, let's say we like acidic
Yeah.
like skeleton you down, and you're
Let's
just.
say we burn you to ashes. You're in your ashes. There's no escape,
Oh my god!
right? So it's not like shoot the zombie in the head and move on. It's like everybody's trapped here in this horror of this.
Our story. I'm here for it.
It's a show movie already.
Netflix needs
I
call
when
me
you asked that
Why?
question. Netflix, you heard it
Right.
here.
You have, so
Oh.
where, all right.
Yes.
Go.
I've
So many
You
questions.
didn't talk about it. I have so many questions.
Good.
So I know people for some reason who have some affinity for comedy.
Yes.
Or are good at comedy, are really good horror people, like have a really sick, like could just push it. Do you have a thing where that's you? I knew it. I'm glad.
Okay. So like we went to see Kill Bill in the theater, and the tea house scene where the bride is standing behind the French lady and she cuts her arm off and there's like blood going everywhere. I am laughing at the top of I'm just laughing really loud, and my husband is just like, I don't know this lady, like I'm that person where it's
Okay.
like that kind of stuff makes me laugh. I have a lot of that humor in the comic as well. Jude is a smart ass. He's very sarcastic. One of the things that he actually can do is he's hearing, but his mother is deaf. So yes, that is correct. But he can sign. So he will talk to you and sign like swear words and put downs while you're not, like if you're not paying attention to his hands. If you don't know sign language, you don't know what he's doing, because he's like, yeah, it's cool, man. He's like, fuck you, So it's just one of the character traits that he has. So I like to have fun. I throw a lot of Easter eggs in there. We reference other pop culture things just for fun. And if you can catch them all, kudos to you, because we've read the same stuff. So it's a lot of fun in my mind. But I love the horror genre. I love zombie genre. So I like to like spin it and turn it upside down and make it something different.
Mhm.
But like it's just the world itself to me is horrifying.
I definitely got to
yeah.
get you and Johnny C in a room,
Yeah,
just
'cause-
talking
Yeah.
all this. You, Johnny C, and Matt Shore just talking horror. That's it. That's it.
Matt Shore.
This is
Yeah.
literally like you took every zombie movie, every zombie concept, and we're like, how
And
can
took it
I
to the
make
next
this
level.
worse? Like, how can I make
it
how can I
worse?
make an already scary situation
So
more Black Mirror than
Worse.
Black Mirror?
Yeah, so let me tell you some more. Can I tell you some more
Oh yeah,
about why
go
it's
right
worse?
ahead. I'm
Yeah.
for it.
I'm
Okay,
here for it.
all right.
You got
So
my money already.
meat. I know. See, Alice and I bonded over this crazy stuff. So, okay, so now we have meat is a problem. What about, okay, so let's say we're going to become vegetarian. Insects, right? So insects also don't die. Pesticides don't work. And insects, to me, they're only good at like 2 or 3 things. They're not very smart. So maybe they don't understand that they're undead and they need to stop eating. So they keep eating all our crops and we can't stop them because, again, pesticides don't work. So we have this famine.
So what do they? Okay, go ahead.
This
Yeah.
just keeps getting worse, and I'm trying to actually think of like what can like we do, and there's
They-
almost nothing.
So then
They
you
make a lot
continue
of
to die of
mistakes.
starvation, but
There's a
then
lot
you're
of
still
starvation.
living.
But then you're
And then
undead.
And what do you
And then you're-
sustain yourself on?
But then you don't need to eat once you're undead, but you're violent and you're moving into madness, right? You become unpredictable. So now we have this. It starts out as a
wow.
minority of this minority, right, of
Yeah.
undead people. And at first, when things start to happen, it's like nobody knows what to do. But if you think about it, in the real life, in our world right now, once you die, you lose the right to drive, vote, firearms, own property, right?
Mhm.
So what happens to this undead population? They're still here, but oh yeah, I have a big fear of bugs too. So we write this giant scene in there where, never mind. You'll have to read it to find out. It's
I
nasty. It's gross.
wow. I'm
Yeah.
My mind is moving like 1,000 miles a second because I'm really trying to think of like how much worse
it's
this
like,
could get.
yo,
I
how
feel
Well,
can
like
you
okay,
make
so let's talk
zombie
about the
apocalypse worse?
population. So the population, you have people that are undead, you have people
Yeah.
that are living, and then as they start to go into madness, they become unpredictable. So then do we take away rights? Does the government step in? Do we have riots? Of course we do. Do we have sympathizers? Of course. You
I
know what
see.
I mean? So now we have this unrest, you know, and you fuel overpopulation and famine on top of that, and you just have this TNT explosion of the fall of mankind.
Right.
So
Throw the whole planet away. Just throw it all away.
exactly, it just explodes, right? It's done.
I could
Life as we
I
know
don't
is
even
done.
know if it's like the fall of mankind. It's the fall of Earth. Like there's
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole planet's done.
I could
Yeah.
see how that could also be a problem too, because when you said that when you die, you basically lose your rights, you lose everything, you lose your
Well, that
property.
happens eventually.
Yeah,
Let's say in my timeline, it's about 5 years into the apocalypse where, you know, because it takes time and there's red tape and bureaucracy and they have to build a case, right? So time has gone by and now we have a larger population that this is happening to. So that's when the problems start, right? So I mean, like it doesn't like day one, now, you know, we have riots. It's like day one, everybody's like, you're at the hospital and you're undead, go home. We don't know what to do with you.
Jesus.
I don't know.
I
You
don't.
know?
Yeah. I'm just lost for words because it's just this world you
So
created.
how?
It's
I mean,
very
usually you
scary.
decompose within like the first week. Do
Uh-huh.
they immediately know when someone dies? What do they know that they're dead, and then they just start seeing like skin fall off and their body's swelling? I mean, what happens?
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
there's so much.
yeah, because all
yeah,
right.
and
So like
I
I
think you stumped us with
cover
this.
all of this.
someone car accident, boom, they're
Yeah.
dead, and then they
Yes.
like they get. Do they even
Smashed.
do they even get buried anymore at this point?
No, that's a dead business.
Yeah.
Right.
So like all right. I'm just like I got smashed. Now, X amount of days later, I wake up and I'm just like I know I died.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, do you even know that you died?
I think people are aware. I mean,
To like
Yeah.
some degree, like something
I think
bad
it depends on
how
how
you
you
died.
die. Yeah.
Right, because if you died in your sleep,
So-
you're waking up the next day, you have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
This is
That's
such
so
a
interesting.
like wild
I-
concept.
Right, I'm
and
so
I'm
It's
like,
just
interested.
it's
That's-
so varied and like and I answer all the questions. So like what happens when you die? Are you and in like in this world 5 years into it where all the unrest is happening, are you trying to pass as living? Maybe there's chemicals, maybe there's an undead underground that will give you tips on how to pass as living or how to hack the technology that we've created to show that you're living because the government creates technology that you wear as a person, living or dead, that they can touch. So if you look at the Kickstarter pages, my cowboy Jude is wearing what we lovingly call a disc. So this disc that you wear, if you tap the center, it lights up green with your heartbeat. So boom, 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 and it makes it has a speaker, so there's audio as well. So if you're undead and they hit it, it just flatlines and makes that noise as well. So that's real easy in the beginning when there's like no evidence of decay. But again, it's like, what if you mix this and this and this to try and make formaldehyde and all of a sudden now you can pass?
it reminds me of that movie with Bruce Willis, and all that with
Death becomes us.
yes.
Death becomes her.
It's like when they started like, making sure that they did all that so they didn't decay and everything.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, but because again, you also worked with artist Marco DeFilio on this.
Oh, yes.
And
He is so good. Have you seen?
I
Put his
wanted to
art
show,
up. Oh
yes,
my
please.
God.
I want to show some of these pages because it's
Nice.
it's really beautiful art. So please tell me, how did this friendship and I'll call it comic marriage come together, and how did it feel to see your words written come to life on these pages?
Yeah, I mean, as a writer, it's amazing to find an artist that can see what you wrote and put it on the page. So Marco and I actually met through a Facebook group called Connecting Comic Book Writers and Artists because I was obviously looking for an illustrator. I had two other guys that were attached to the project in about 2020, and then of course pandemic and all the nonsense that happened with 2020, they ended up both dropping out. So when I brought Marco in, we basically had to start from scratch. But I mean, this is his jam. He loves Westerns. He loves steampunk and sci-fi and, you know, Marvel. And so we talked about all the stuff that kind of influences us. And I mean, it was a no-brainer, you know, and it's like his page rate worked for me. My time frame worked for him. We signed a contract to spell out all of our, you know, all of our roles to each other. So we're on the same page. He's very easy to work with. He has his own artistic process where it's like he has me involved in every step, but really my input is minimal. Well, the first thing we do is we just kind of read through the script, the whole episode, and we kind of plan everything start to finish. And then like for this 8-page preview, each page he kind of did 3 different versions of the page and like slightly changing the paneling or the perspective or the camera angle or something. And then like we would go through and I'd be like, I really like this, you know, jumps out at me, stuff like that. So after that point, he does like a final pencil rendering. He lets me look at it just to make sure I'm cool with it. And he'll make small changes, but he's the one that really puts that on himself. I mean, check this out.
This
The
makes
zombie
so
hand
much more
exploding.
sense now watching it because I looked at this the other day when I knew we were like interviewing it,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
and now
yeah.
that I have context, it makes so much more sense
Yeah.
that with the grip on the cup and why he couldn't pry it out because the person is still holding
Still
on to
alive.
it. And yeah, I'm
Undead.
like now realizing so much more. I'm so interested.
Yeah. So where we are in this comic, Jude, okay, this is our main character, our cowboy. His name is Jude St. Clair. He's actually 10 years into the apocalypse. And now 10 years into this crisis, most people have moved on. You know, they're just trying to make it through the day. They just want to, you know, live their life or they're on death, whatever. And that's it. Jude is not complacent. He's not happy. He wants to know the reason why. So he has this journal that he keeps track of all these conspiracy theories as to what started the breakdown, right? So he's been spending 10 years researching and debunking all these conspiracy theories, trying to find them. But it's like, when the dead don't die anymore, you can basically have anything be the reason. It's like, is it aliens? Is it chemical? Is it government conspiracy? Is it a virus? What is it? Is it the rapture? I mean, there's so many different things that it could be.
Yeah.
So you really can't. I mean, look at that bear.
That's what I'm saying. That's where we leave off right there
Right.
with the bear. And
Yeah, so this is actually 2/3 of the way into this comic. So there's stuff that happens before this, which will actually put what Jude does with taking that glass into context.
Mhm.
And then we do resolve this situation. So the last page you see is that splash page with him and the bear.
I love you, Pong.
I love all of you. You're hilarious. So there is stuff that happens after the bear wakes up. So we do resolve it at the end of this episode. And I want to apologize because y'all are going to hate me, but it's all right.
I'm
I'm
like
not-
I said, I'm not hating. I'm loving it. I'm like,
I'm
I'm loving the concept.
intrigued.
It's so intriguing. Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
I'm excited about it.
Like
so
I just keep thinking about. I always think about like the moral implications of someone who wanted
So
wanted
many.
to die because they're like, oh, if I die, I could just keep on living until whenever, and then I don't have to worry about any of the worries or stress of life anymore.
So is it important to be alive anymore?
Right.
There's so many.
I mean, you have your benefits, you have your job.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know.
I want to have like a full-on 30-hour
I mean, I would still wanna be
conversation
alive
about this there's so much.
I don't
Well,
want to
I would be very happy to
I
come
don't
back.
I don't
You
want
know-
my body to rot. I mean, it's
No.
you know.
Exactly. I don't want to be around for that. I don't want to go through that. You know, you're
It's
constantly doubting whether
immortality, but worse.
yeah. Or either that or like you're alive but your spouse is undead or your child is undead.
Oh my God.
God, yeah.
Okay. And then eventually, like I said, with the government breakdown, they start taking away rights. They start separating the two communities. So you have undead and you have living, which again, let's revisit what I just said. You're alive, your spouse is undead. You're alive, your child is undead. And they want to separate you.
It's oh man, this is just
There's
it's
so
one of those
much.
series that you definitely walk into a lot of moral dilemmas. You walk into the potential ugliness of how greed can also play into it.
Oh,
Government
absolutely.
just
Yep,
it
we do
that's
that.
That's the other
I was
thing.
right near it.
Does the government even care to like reverse the process, or like, or they're just like, this is a thing now, whatever?
I'm
Who
sure
knows?
first
You have
they-
to read to find out.
I see,
I know.
see someone like
Oh, I
I
want
see
to pick the
someone like
brain so much more.
get your
So much
undead kit here, Zomco, where it makes you feel alive.
Or, I mean, like, so a plethora of products now change, right? Because guns are no longer sufficient, right? Unless you're trying to scare somebody that's living. But once you shoot someone, they become undead, they still can turn around and shoot you back, right? So then, do we move towards more of like tasers? Yeah, that's what it is. You know what I mean? Because the nervous system can still be affected by electricity after you're dead. Who's ever done that science experiment? Come on, where you hook the frog up to the electrodes and it twitches?
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly just like, how do you deal with them? And I'm like, put them in the deepest depth of the ocean.
Stop having children.
Just leave them
I mean,
depth of the
Right?
ocean with
Right?
all the other whatever's down there.
So
See? But here's the thing.
they can walk still.
If you decide that that's how you're going to treat the undead, what happens when you die? You go to the bottom of the ocean too. So that's the thing. You're like, I just have this really vast social commentary, almost like an ethics lesson, but I don't give any answers. People can make their own decision about what they want, how they think about things. I do point a giant spotlight at the human race and say this is how ugly we can be.
Yeah.
I like it. Like I said, where's my credit? Where's my card now? Shut up. When does the Kickstarter launch? Because I know we got the landing page and we're
Oh,
waiting for
man.
it to launch
Yeah.
because I'm like day one.
It's so funny because
Yeah. Oh, I got more
reading
to
the
tell you about
pages
Kickstarter,
and like getting the context now, I'm like, oh wow, like this is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. It's hard to put that all on the page. You know what I mean? It's
It
like
is.
that's why I want to do these interviews is so people can hear me talk about it and all the cool things that are going to be in this world. We go live April 15th. So we're doing a
nice.
30-day.
Like 10 days, yeah.
Kind of nervous, but it's okay. I'll just pretend I'm
You'll
not.
be fine. Especially with this
I
kind
mean,
of
with
pitch.
that,
What?
yeah. I mean, it's just it's going to blow people's minds. Just what you've said so far.
That's perfect because
Yeah.
of it. And also too,
Right.
shout out to George real quick. George, thank you for the shirt.
Yes,
Cool.
I got my shirt. I got my shirt. I got my book. Thank you, George. I got you,
George,
fam. You the man.
I'm gonna when I see you, we fighting because I don't have a shirt.
Ooh.
Just saying.
Oh, you probably didn't do the thing you were supposed to do.
Oh.
There's a thing you're supposed to do.
And so with the Kickstarter launching April 15th, April 15th, because you already got our money. What are some of the day one rewards people can actually expect when they sign up?
So I have a early bird sticker reward. So we have a collectible sticker that's going to be released with every issue. So it's a $15 backing level. It's super easy where you get a physical copy of the comic with Marco's cover and the PDF copy, and I think your name goes on our thank you page, which is cool. But there's only 50 of those. I have a couple other ones that are limited, like I have to talk about the short films. I haven't talked about those yet, but we did a riot scene. Okay. All right. So part of the comic, it's 3 parts. So we have the comic, it's the main story, it's the meat and potatoes, the death, dying, destruction, all of that. So if you're really into comics, absolutely, that's all you have to do if that's what you want to do. But the world is so big, like kind of we talked about all these different things that are happening. Not all of that happens in the comic because you only see Jude's point of view.
Do we get flashbacks? Do we get something?
You do get flashbacks, yeah. You get a lot of it. Like you get the fall of society, you get all the riots, all the gore, all of that. I promise you, I don't leave that out. But some of these things are happening, and it's like Jude's over in the West, and they're happening in the North. So what I decided we would do is explore some of these other concepts using short films and riddles. So for every episode that comes out, we're going to be releasing a short film. So the one that we did for episode 1, when the Kickstarter goes live, it's right there. And we created a commercial for an undead retirement community called Pine Fox. So it's like if you were in the world and you were watching TV, this could show up as a commercial on your TV. However, so there's this community and it talks about the perks and the white picket fence, but it's interspliced with these images of like riots and violence and things on fire. So I do this juxtaposition of like, this is how we want the world to be, but this is how it really is. So some commentary.
Sold. I am super sold.
But wait, there's more. Oh.
Oh man.
So starting on episode 2, we're actually going to make these interactive.
Ooh.
So you as the reader, we're going to pick a topic. Episode's 2 topic is conspiracy theories. So we're going to explore all the different reasons why people think the death process is broken. So you as a reader could video yourself pretending to be in Path of the Pale Rider talking about conspiracy theories and send me a 30-second video, and I'm going to edit them all together and make a short film so people can see themselves in it. Hopefully, I don't know how, if I have like 8,000 people submit things, probably not. But you know what I mean? Like in the beginning, I should be able to get everybody in there. And we could have this really cool experience where you could see yourself as part of the story. And then outside of that, every episode is going to have Easter eggs and riddles. So the back cover of our issue is actually a riddle. And if you solve it, it takes you to somewhere in the real world. And then there's additional content for the people that solve the riddles.
Oh, this is
so
this is like the Gravity Falls treasure hunt. Oh, this is so good.
Gravity Falls, yes. What's the other one that someone mentioned to me? It's like Cicada 313. There's all sorts of there's things out there, right? So it's like Moonknight just actually did one where if you watch the episode, there's a QR code on the wall, and if you scan it, it takes you to a comic. Stuff like that. Like we might have a QR code somewhere in our comic, or there might be Morse code somewhere, or a cipher to break. You know what I mean? Which leads you to a web page or a YouTube channel or a phone number. I have so many things planned for fun. And I mean, like the episode 1, the riddle's easy. I already had someone solve it. Someone already claimed first place. So someone needs to go solve it and claim second place. Okay. And then episode 2, it's going to start getting hard. I'm going to make them more challenging.
Cool.
So.
It really sounds like, again, it's just so beautiful because it sounds like you're going to give the readers a very immersive experience as things start to come out. And it's a perfect, what you're doing is a perfect example of not just relying on physical media, but you're looking to utilize the digital media that's out there to help enhance the book even more, the story even more, to make it very immersive. And I'm like, that's that. And anybody who's watching this on demand or now, that's a perfect example to learn from.
Had me at hello.
But I love it. So we're gonna talk more about the book. We're definitely gonna have you featured.
I want to make two like
please
make it happen.
Yes.
Interactive, like so I don't know if you've ever heard like a full production like podcast where like it sounds like you're listening to a live like TV show kind of thing. I forget what the specific name is. But it's almost all found footage, like almost all like people's recordings of like, oh man, like this was crazy, this is my day, blah blah. I like my wife woke up or she was dead, blah blah, like those kind of things.
Yeah, and like the 911 tapes, not 911, 9/11 tapes.
Right.
Like you could listen to the phone calls that were being made on 9/11. So, but we could do something like that based off of Path of the Pale Rider. So it's like,
and also I would say an interactive game. Like I feel like this has so much good potential for a game because it also plays with the idea of like people's morality and seeing where people would go. There's like RPG potential, but also just like regular, like do a board game, like see where people go and like choose your own adventure. Like, would you do this? Now that you're here in this society, where do you go from here? And it's like, do this. And you're like, oh, that's what you would do. Got it. Okay.
Someone else was, okay. So when I was letting people read the script, so people from production were telling me, Netflix, People from video games were telling me video games. People from comic
Mhm.
books were telling me comic books. The cool thing about this story is everybody sees it in their own medium. So if you
Yep.
like video games, I'm sure we could do a video game. I just need someone to help me do it.
Dude, I see it.
We have
I
to
see it in
debate info later.
so many different medias where you can go with this, and
Yeah.
it's like it's perfect with the comic because the comic you get to introduce people, and then like what you're
Mhm.
gonna do with the immersive experience and all that, and just everything from there. It's just like it doesn't matter. Just it fits in so many medias, and again, you have a great gem right here, and I can't wait for the Kickstarter. Remember, guys, April 15th
April 15th.
goes live.
You
I'm
really know how to
pushing
pitch
the
it.
button. I'm pushing the button at like, what is it, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do a Facebook Live video. You all are all welcome to come and crash it. Come and talk about your stuff. Like I want everybody who's a creative or an indie producer. I don't care if you do comics or board games or if you're on Twitch, if you do TikTok. I don't care. Come and talk about your stuff on my Go Live. And then I have like a half an hour. I'm just gonna hang out and talk about things. Marco will be on there, so him and I will have a good conversation. And then I'm gonna push the button, and we're just gonna see what happens.
We're sharing this with everybody. That's it. But now we're on the second half of the show. And then again, guys, Laurie is going to plug away again. But first of all, here you go.
Oh, I'm doing the spoiler warning.
Oh,
So
let's
we're
go.
going to talk about Moonknight. Spoiler warnings. We're going to be talking about diving into the first episode. So if you haven't seen it, you may want to watch that beforehand. We're also going to touch base on the last episode of Attack on Titan, which I'm excited about, but disappointed that they extended it for another season, another part, whatever. What else? We're going to dive into maybe just some side banter. We never know, but Aunt May is dead. So if you don't know, now you know.
Let's go. Well done. Well done. Handled it like a pro.
I guess.
Tone, are you proud? Tone, you get the
We're-
seal of approval?
Tone, tell me
Yeah.
something.
Seal of
Was that
approval
good?
from Val?
It was good. Snaps. Listen, I'm just gonna be listening, and I'll cut in when you call me in, just because this delay sucks. So
No worries. Is
so
that
even
on
just
the road Tone?
no, I'm following the road. I got my eyes on the road, and then also Lord for your comic. Looking at the imagery and all, it all makes sense. And when I saw the title Pale Rider, it automatically made me think. When you think of the Pale Rider, you think of one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Mhm.
Yes.
And you
Gold Star.
mentioned famine and war and disease, and I just feel like, and I don't know if I'm gonna hit the nail on the head, but I just feel like these guys aren't doing their job, and that's why this shit is happening.
All right,
That
so you hit
sounds-
it right on the head. Path
You
of the
know
Pale
what?
Rider. Yes, we're talking about
Good
the four
job.
horsemen of the apocalypse, and the last one is death, and death is missing. Where is death? Right?
Ooh.
I love it.
There you go.
I
I don't
love
gotta
it.
say
I'm super
nothing for
excited
30
about
fucking
this.
minutes, and then I come in with the nugget.
Because he got a gold star for the day. Gold
There you
star.
go. Tone, killing it as usual.
But I all of that's in there. Like if you look at Jude, like Saint Jude is actually the patron saint of lost causes.
Mm.
So there's
So a lot
more in
ties
it.
into it. Yes.
Well,
Well
there's a lot more
done.
in it.
Well
So the more
done.
you can, as deep as you want to go, it's there. It's there.
Oh damn, we're definitely gonna have to crash your feet and get more of it. I mean, I'm
Yay.
loving it.
Oh, man.
Damn. This I mean, like I said, you got a gem right there. And I'm like,
That's
okay, Chef,
revelation.
Yeah, I'm
I
totally
wish
like
today
psyched.
was the 15th. Let's
Well
go.
I
done.
wish you all the best with this. I wanted to
Thank you.
reach the stars. It's going to be great.
Yes.
I'm really excited about this. April
Guys, share with your
15th.
friends, share with
I'm
your
so
friends.
excited. We
share
get
with
really good
everybody,
guests,
because
but
we
like,
get-
oh man, like this is awesome.
Well, and this is episode 1. We have 13 episodes written in the first arc, and I'm writing
wow.
the second arc. I'm about 4 episodes into the second arc, and I have plans for a third one.
Do you
So,
do you
I
know
mean, the
where
story's
this
big.
ends, more or less, or like where this
Yeah.
goes?
Yeah, I do. I have an ending in mind, but I don't know how many seasons it's going to take me to get there.
Cool.
Listen,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter as long as you get there. Take as long as you need. 'Cause
Right.
this story
There's
just
no
it
rush.
just
Right.
this-
You can do so much with this. Oh my God.
And
There's
we
so many
do.
questions.
We do. And it's like when you get to the end and you're like, oh my God, now I have to know about this, and this. That's season 2.
Yes. Well done.
Listen,
Oh,
I think we
man.
found the ultimate replacement for The Walking Dead with a better storyline. Let's
Jeez,
go.
thank you.
Let's
Walking
go.
Dead is a great comic
It
book. The
is.
I-
It
TV
is.
show is something different.
As soon as I got to Terminus, I canceled out. I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. And that was early on too.
Yeah.
And if Johnny C is listening out there, Johnny and George, you got
George,
a new
you
guest.
gotta get her on your show.
You got a new guest. You got to get
Gotta
on your
get
show.
her on
You
your
gotta
show.
get
Oh, I
the
can talk
word
horror
out.
genre. Horror genre is awesome because it tells you what people are afraid of through time. It's so
Mhm.
cool to dissect like the different kinds of horror movies in the decades that they come out with because that's what people are afraid of. That's their psyche. So it's so interesting to really dive into like what does it mean to be consumed by another human?
It was a funny though because last week on Three Creators when we found out what people were scared of on Three Creators,
Yeah.
someone was afraid of a Chucky doll, so someone can go back and watch that because they were afraid of the My Buddy doll. So it's
My
not a
buddy and
Listen,
me.
Listen, first of all, as a
Thank you,
child
Shell.
watching Chucky, it was not interesting at all. Okay. I would
Well,
not touch those My Buddy dolls. I hated those commercials. I was not a fan of Chucky as a kid. I'm sorry.
I just hated that he can be in small little places, and then when I got like big enough that I was like, yo, I
Psycho.
can just punt him. I'm punting him. It is what it
As a
is.
you're not
That's
thinking of that
hilarious.
as a child. You're thinking of
Nah.
all your dolls coming to life and attacking you at night. Come on now.
Mhm.
so we're gonna now dive into. Oh wait, here we go.
Oh, we doing Moon Knight?
George, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, he
Yep,
wants
see,
you on
George
Catch the
wants to catch
Craze.
the
That's
craze. Here
right.
we go.
He loves the
Okay.
Tune
concept.
in to catch the craze, guys.
Not
Not
my
my
buddy.
Not my buddy.
And the mighty
Right.
Pong. And the mighty
Alright.
Pong from Las Vegas, the Sin Shop. So Laurie, again, coming on the show, you got to see Moon Knight. What were your thoughts? And you did catch that whole thing where the QR code was there and people got to
Mhm.
scan it.
I didn't even know.
So what was the whole? So what was your thoughts of Moon Knight coming out this first episode?
You know, I think they picked one of his mild-mannered alter egos to
Mhm.
showcase first, so we would A, be exposed to the as multiple personalities, but B, to, also showcase the missing time. And
Yeah.
to me, that's the time I want to see, right? I
Yeah.
want to see the action. I want to see the fights. He just wakes up with a gun in his hand and everybody's dead and the truck's blown up. Like, what happened? I want to see that stuff. But Stephen Grant
Mhm.
is the mild-mannered museum gift shop worker, right? So not a threat, but it's like if they had started with Mark Spector, we wouldn't care about Stephen Grant
Right.
at all. So that's why I think they did it. And they were able to show a lot of like imagery, like when he was like not going to sleep, when he was listening to that podcast, like stay awake, try a puzzle, read a book. And they're showing all this imagery of the Egyptian hierarchy. So that kind of
Mhm.
explains how we knew all that is he's constantly reading because he doesn't want to go to sleep because he's not sure where he's going to wake up. I just thought it was so cool where they were able to slip in all these innuendo and like more history about who this character is without even showing us who Mark Spector is or how he got to be Moon Knight. So we're not there yet. So it's like I'm still at the edge of my seat and I want to see more. Like the whole opening with Ethan Hawke's character smashing a glass and putting in his shoes. Like what the F?
Yeah, that
He
was
took
a
a shot
lot.
first, smashed the glass, and then put it in.
Yeah,
his shoes.
same.
Yeah.
And then you can hear it crunching as he goes by. Like
Ugh.
that's gross. I
That
don't know
is-
about you, but I was just
that's
like,
a
oh,
lot.
I'm not comfortable
So
with that.
he's the new Captain Crunch.
Oh, Steve Ass.
Let's call him that. That's
Corny.
hilarious.
Dad
Oh,
joke.
Steve
Captain
Ass.
Crunch.
Oh,
I mean, before that, it did give me serious. Like, if anybody ever saw the movie Memento, which dealt with like memory loss and all that,
Yeah.
and missing time, it kind of gave me those vibes a little bit with like,
Yeah.
and the way they did it with the camera work. Val, give me your take on Moon Knight, putting on this latest Marvel show.
Well, I'm similar to Laurie. I love that they gave us Steven first, even though Mark is the character and Steven is just one of his things that came about later. It definitely built an attachment to that character beforehand. I am looking forward to seeing those missing timepieces that we didn't get to see because I'm sure that's going to come about. I absolutely loved the flow of the episode. I feel just as lost as Steven does throughout the process, so that works it made me feel it. So which was good, especially with the whole fish having one fin and then one day he does, and it was like he knows something's wrong, but he doesn't know what it is until the very
Yeah.
end. And the fact that we got the unveiling of the costume at the end, at the very end, I'm like, oh my god, I need to see the next episode. I was upset we only got one episode, and I'm like, I need more. So I'm really, really looking forward to where they take it. It made me dive more into this character of things that I didn't know, because I'm like, where's Mark? Who's this Steven? And it didn't occur to me what's going on until I went back. It's been so long since I touched the Moon Knight comic book, and I realized there are differences, because he's a rich guy and he's like what they call the Batman or whatever, similar to in their universe. So when I was like, oh, so that's who it's supposed to be, it made more sense now. However, I'm just really excited to see where the show goes. So far as the first episode, this would line in with one of my favorites alongside WandaVision.
I love how the Egyptian god who was speaking to him is like, "Oh, the idiot is back.
Yeah.
Give the body back to Mark." I'm like,
Relics.
so
Oh, the date, the mistake. Yeah,
we'll jump on you next, Law, with this of your take on it, of how you felt with the show, with this opening for Moon Knight. Please give us your take, brother.
So I'm watching it, and so I originally, like, sometimes I like go and watch like a history of video with something like that, and I know a little bit of Moon Knight. I'm not familiar with the comics, but I know enough of like the little tidbits from like, you know, pop culture history and whatever the case is. So, but I was like, I want to go in this blind. This is the first time I'm like truly just going in blind with the character, and it wasn't until after the episode when someone was like, they started with Steven for a reason, because you, as the audience, are just as lost and feel as lost as he does. And I'm like, oh shit. Because in the beginning, I'm like, I like it, but I'm more curious than I am excited. It was very like where the fuck is this all going? Like, what's happening? And each time I'm like, now we're going to get Mark. And they're like, no. And I'm like, what am I supposed to be like? And I was like, all right, throw all expectations out the window, because they're probably just not going to give it to you. But they gave us just enough of like subtle hints of like the missing time, the lost date, the someone pointed out, they were like, the postcards that you see on his wall are the same postcards that are sold in the gift shop where he works. So he's just sending them to himself as Mark. And I was like, oh my god. So what if he's like, oh, the whole thing is just him,
even the messages to his mom, they said,
right, are just keeping himself like
real.
Yeah. I was like,
Gator.
they're playing the really slow game with us, even more so than they did with WandaVision. WandaVision, we kind of had an expectation because we know these characters, and we kind of had a sense of where this was going. With this, we have no idea where we pop into his life, what's happening. At this point, he's obviously been Moon Knight for a little while. Like, we'd have no idea unless we are like true fans of the comic. And even then, you know, Marvel always likes to take their own thing and run with it. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I am more excited now after like actually looking back and thinking about the episode and digesting it, because during the initial, I was just like, what am I like? The entire time it was confusion and wanting more, and then going, no, they gave me what I needed. They gave me just enough of what I needed. And kudos to fucking Oscar Isaac, because he killed it. Like, it's an amazing depiction of all these different personality traits, and because you know he's charming, you know he's smart and intelligent, you know he's all these things, but he's giving us like the same portrayal that Split. Why can't I think James McAvoy? Yeah, it's giving us like the same level of like, I'm gonna pull multiple personas, multiple people with like this one character.
Yeah,
so it's amazing to see.
And I love the fact, and just to piggyback off that Kevin Feige actually gave Oscar Isaacs a little bit of creative control of this character, hence the different voices we hear that he's doing. He's come a long way from playing the X-Men villain Apocalypse, the Ivan Ooze Apocalypse.
I forgot he was Apocalypse.
It's good that you forgot.
Early, like really one of my favorite early Oscar Isaac roles was him in Sucker Punch. He played a really good villain.
Yes. I forgot that was him.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
also good in Ex Machina too.
Yeah.
If you-
Oh shit! I have to
Yes.
watch that again because I think I've only watched like bits and pieces of it.
That one's disturbing, but you need to
Yeah.
watch it.
Okay.
Look at me. I'm like, it's disturbing. Watch it.
With a full smile, yo, Laura, you're one of my new favorite people. Put it out there. You're awesome.
I'm like, it's gross.
Listen, we're trying to survive your zombie apocalypse first.
I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
every possible scenario right now. Trust me, it's in the back of my head like I'm writing notes.
Tony, take it away with your thoughts on Moon Knight, because we want to get your thoughts on the road of
All
what
right.
you're feeling. Let's go. Tony's hot take.
All right. Hopefully, I don't get cut off. With this fucking weather and shit. Anyway, so I kind of agree that I like that we're kind of coming into it blind. Everyone has their expectations of Moon Knight. I was kind of under the same place that Law was at. I was like under the I knew like he's the Batman of the Marvel universe, but like that was really it. So us going through this whole thing of going through Steven's lens and not knowing what the hell's going on and going through his episodes made me feel intrigued with the show, and knowing it's kind of an origin story, but the fact that he's already Moon Knight and we're going to just kind of piece it all together as he gets perfectly puzzle fit into the MCU like Marvel always does. And I liked the splits of when Mark took over. It added a lot of mystery to it because we still because until you get the end when he becomes Moon Knight, you're just like, what the fuck is going on? And I thought the way they shot it too, it was so abrupt. Just like the whole situation seems dire, and then you get the go to black, and like everything changes. Bodies are on the floor, the car's backward, the gun's in his hand, the windows are broken. I'm just like what the fuck happened in these like this split second? So I'm hoping we do see it, but for an introductory episode, it keeps you engaged. It makes you want to keep watching. Versus like if we just got another action set piece, but now it's just a brand new character, then you're not getting that nuance of the multiple personalities. And I think this episode really brought it. And until you see it, when that really great mirror scene when he is going through it, and you see Oscar Isaac play both Mark and Steve going through his regular accent and then his English accent, and just and the personalities and the vibes, it all just changes, and you see it in that in those in the reflections. So I'm digging it. I'm excited to see what they do, but I also love the route that we're going with Ethan Hawke as the villain. I'm excited to see what they do with him, and how that Egyptian goddess comes into play, and how these two Egyptian gods, like how's that going to work, and where do the Egyptian gods fall into the pantheon of higher beings in the MCU, and if they're going to address that. So kind of want to see where all that falls into play with what we see for the show. But I'm in. I like that it's different, and we're going the route of the split personalities and going full speed ahead with it.
Yeah.
So I just want to give a shout out and a big for that creature at the end of that episode who was trying to crawl out that bathroom and was getting his ass whooped. He was like, yo, I'm not about this. He's like, I was about the other guy. This guy, nah, he's eating me. I can't. You seem like
this felt like if we got the Mummy now, it was like, oh, bet, like the same level of like Egyptian horror and like just spooky shit. It was like, no, I'm okay. Like that shit looked genuinely terrifying.
But made by an Egyptian director.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out.
That's
to that.
what I'm excited about too, because it's like, oh, now we get the real stuff.
Real content, right?
But Tone brings up a great point.
Yep.
Yep.
That payoff.
Yeah, at the end, that was it. That sold it. That was a
nasty.
great way. It's like it showed that creature was scared and terrified, and you saw the terror of it just clawing, and then you didn't see what was going on. It just got pulled in, and then you just hear what's going on, and then you get that final like. It's like, okay, he did some shit. But Tone brings up an interesting point, and again, the Egyptian gods are coming in, and it is pretty funny that. And it's interesting that we're getting Moon Knight now at the same time that we're going to be getting Thor: Love and Thunder, which is going to be bringing in Zeus, who Russell Crowe is supposed to be playing. So Marvel is known to play with its pantheon of various different gods. So
Norse
do you
mythology,
think
Greek mythology, the whole gambit?
So do you think that we're going to stop there, or you think that with these next productions that Moonknight and Thor are going to open that up for the rest of these pantheons? And Laurie, I will start with you.
I don't know. I think Marvel's plan is pretty set in place for the next, what, 4, 5, 7, 10 years? If you
I
look
say
at it, I
50.
mean, they're gonna. I mean, like, they're definitely gonna explore not the Black Knight. So there's gonna be
Mm,
some stuff there that we're gonna see that's a little bit different. And then they're bringing back Blade, which I
mm,
am so excited about. I cannot wait
yes.
to see that. I was like, if they're gonna be casting anywhere, I'm just gonna show up. Like, hi, I'm part of this scene now, and they're probably gonna have to escort me off. It's cool. I'll bring my sword. Maybe they'll let me on. No, not at all. So I mean, like, I don't know if they can bring in more pantheons besides that. Those are the ones that are kind of mainstream, and we know
Mm,
Marvel. Yeah, they can take some risks. Like Guardians of the Galaxy was a risk at the time. It's
mm.
not anymore. But I don't know. What other ones are out there that you think they could bring in?
They did do the Japanese gods. They did do the Hindu the
Yeah,
Hindu
so
gods.
it's not so much. I don't think they're gonna do full on pantheons. I think it's more like they're gonna introduce members
Okay.
of pantheons, but like specific to each character. So we're gonna get uh stuff for Iron Fist if they hopefully recast it and do that all over again. We're gonna
There
get
was also
Shang-Chi. We're gonna get this I would imagine, because there is a spider god for like the whole Spider-Verse guys. So just imagine what we're doing to those units. It's Alfred here. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Read.
A
so
new Ghost Rider. Hey, what's going on, Vic?
thick.
so
Oh
Ready,
yeah, that would
sir,
be
yes.
cool.
for the gods thing though, like if we're bringing in Zeus for Thor, do you think they're bringing in Zeus to like do
Introduce
something, or
Hercules.
is it more to show the threat of the God Butcher?
I think both because if
Ooh,
you bring
yeah.
in,
I keep forgetting that
think
the
both.
God Butcher is
The
going to be
God
the
Butcher.
thing of next. Yeah.
But this is the thing. I think it's both, but also due to interest because in the Marvel comics there was always this council of gods from different pantheons. Zeus sat on there. Odin.
Hmm.
At one point, Odin was replaced by Thor. You
Right.
had the different devils of Marvel who were probably everyone's waiting for Mephisto
Hmm.
because people keep going, Mephisto is coming. You have
I
the
also think they're gonna
devils.
do Zeus to introduce. I mean, Zeus
Hercules.
to Hercules because he's like
Mm.
best
He's
friends
an
with Thor.
Avenger.
Yeah,
But
that
Hercules
too.
is also very much involved in the Avengers storyline. So if they are trying to get another godlike character to
Mhm.
replace Thor over time, Hercules would be their next go-to.
And then don't forget, we did get the Eternals who kind of have the
Mhm.
godlike
I
abilities and
hope
everything, who
so.
have been mistaken as gods. So there's a lot. And I'm again Moon
Good
Knight.
night, George.
We're gonna definitely good night, George. We're definitely gonna hit up on Moon Knight episode 2 because there's the again, I think we said everything that we can say about this episode because it is an awesome episode. It is an awesome introduction. But let's get into the next nugget in the room. Attack on Titan. God damn it.
Yo,
God damn it.
so how many
Me
of
and
us are just
Tone,
mad?
This
I
is
was
this
like,
was
I'm
just
so disappointed. Me and
Where's the
Tone,
next one?
Why'd you take yourself out?
yeah, because that's how upset I am about it.
Oh, okay. I was like,
So-
usually we take you out when you're in trouble for something.
No, let me lead off first. So, Attack on Titan. This was supposed to be the final episode of a two-part season.
Bullshit.
Yeah, yes, thank you. A two-part season finale. But now they like decide to
yes.
pull a rug under our eyes and say,
Will
"Oh
do.
no, we're gonna extend it to a part 3 on how we were told you that this last episode was going to be an hour. No, it's going to be 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and we're gonna do a whole they should have just broke it up into seasons. And I'm sorry. So the episode to me, it was that what made it up for me, and I'll just say it was just the ending. Everything else I could have done without what was going on in the episode. It just but it was the ending
Well,
that really for me it was that because I guess I was still like upset with I was expecting an hour and I got, feel like I got cheated. I felt like, they told me that, oh, you could go get gas for $2, but really you're gonna give it to me for $5 a gallon. So that's how I felt. Anyway,
sounds
well,
familiar.
Val, because you because I messed up last week, we'll let you start this one.
Yeah, go ahead, Val.
Take it
yeah,
away.
I just okay. Obviously, you guys know, those who've watched this several times, me and Tone did read the books, so we knew what to expect coming in, and I knew there's a lot more to go, and I'm like, oh, but we don't. If they're gonna put it in one episode, then we're gonna get a lot in this episode. I was
Nope.
not given what I intended. So I would like, okay, and I'm looking at the timing. I'm seeing how much is left. I'm like, they're not going anywhere with this. Oh my god, I'm not gonna get what I want to see. So I wasn't upset at the way the episode went, but I thought we were gonna finish it. I thought it was done. I didn't know they were going to intend to do a part 3 of the final season, which they are dragging it out at this point. So I'm ready to see it end. I want to see it already. I need to see that animated. However, I will say for those who have not read the anime, it is something to watch because I can't wait till they animate what's expected to come. It's going to be amazing. Especially with how we know how well they have done so far. It's just they're dragging it at this point.
Do you think that the hype is going to maintain because of it?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's that what's to come is that that
really good. Like people. So as like upset as we are that they're
as upset as we are that
we're still going to be just
action
as hyped.
scenes we're going to get
are going to be
until
epic.
the last episode where disappointment will fall upon me and Val. But the action sequences when they finally go against Aaron will be worth it.
It's going to be epic. I'm telling you guys, it is definitely worth it. I just thought I would get it in the last episode, but we didn't. So it's fine. I'm okay with what they did. Just not happy that it didn't give it to me yet. That's all.
Laurie, you're being tagged in. Let's go.
Wow.
All right, so let me just say that I went back and I rewatched from like the end of season 3. So I rewatched the entire season starting last week. So like maybe in like 4 or 5 days. So I've just been binge watching Attack of Titan for days. And when you get to that last episode, I'm just like, why do we need to know all this information? Like all these flashbacks. What are they giving us here? Because I don't care. I want to see when they show up on the coast and, kill all the people. Sorry. That's what I want to see. Right?
Don't be sorry.
I think it was more so to show Aaron what they've ignored to see.
That he's always been this way. And that moment with Mikasa where he was like, why do you feel, what do you feel? How do you feel about me? Kind of thing. Like that was her moment. I think that she could have turned him back if she would have been honest with him and been like, I love you, instead of we're family. It's like, nope, you missed. He's done.
Yep.
So,
Agreed.
but I mean, that's how I took it too, is like he was looking at these people and saw that they were people. This pickpocket came, so it's like then he got to hear all the ugliness from the Marlians.
Yeah.
Call them.
Yep.
That they were going to throw him into the sea and they were going to crush his hands and blah blah. So then it's like everybody else is reacting and he's just stoic. He's just staring off into space because he's kind of made up his mind at this point.
He knows what he has to do by then. Like he's already set his mind. He's just waiting for everybody else to see it and they don't.
Right.
Because even
and they
before,
won't.
when he just hit the shore, before he went over, when he hits the shore, he realizes like there's more out there. He's already putting all that together. So all that from then to when he hits the shores of Marley is just him planning.
Yes. Yeah. And I thought like it was really cool to have that one little twist where it's like he could see future memories. And I knew something was up with that when there was that one episode where they were showing his dad, Grisha, and then the owl was like, how are you going to save Armin and Mikasa if you don't do this? And he was like, who's that? So how would neither one of them knew who those people were? So it's like somebody knows something.
Right.
Aha, that's where it is.
The
you
way
know what
they
I mean?
piece
So
that
in. They're always thinking ahead.
Yep.
Tone.
I feel like everyone's giving that same initial reaction.
So, I got it. Look, this is my hold on. I gotta see. Okay, this is the right way. Okay. I'm going through the back roads of Maze Landing. This shit makes no sense. Anyway, it's frustrating. It's very frustrating to keep getting blue balled into a finale. And
that's pretty accurate.
I would have been better if we knew going into this, like from the jump in January, that we were going to get a part 3.
Yeah.
Like if they were just upfront and that, final season, part 1, 2, and 3. And I think I would have been good with it instead of like making it a big deal and like a fun announcement that we're getting a part 3 at the end of the season when no one was expecting that. When everyone knew going in, like you have like 8 chapters to go, and what are you going to go a Demon Slayer route and do a movie? Like what's the plan here? Like no one's communicating to the fans, and I think that's irresponsible. I think it's just irresponsible at this point. I get that you don't owe us anything. It's art, and I get that, but it just gets to a point where it's like just be honest and communicate. And the fact is, like, we got to wait till the end of this episode, which half of it's a flashback, and you're banking on this whole revelation.
Half of it. It's like 90% flashback.
90% flashback, and you're doing this whole thing, and you're ending on this moment, and Mikasa asking Eren, and then you end it with Eren showing up to Marley, and it's just like I don't want to wait another fucking year.
Yeah.
Like we already did that, and then what I'm gonna be frustrated about is if they do. So if y'all remember from the first episode of part 2 of the last season, it's literally a rehash of the last episode of part 1 of the last season. So your first episode back, it's a rehash. I feel we're gonna get a rehash in this new episode, and it's probably gonna drag it out to 12 episodes when it's 8 chapters.
Yep.
And it's just like fucking finish it. Like y'all should have known from the jump how long this is gonna be, and just be like, we're doing this in 3 parts, or we'll make it 24 episodes, or like it's a moneymaker, it's gonna be a big to-do. And I think it's just irresponsible and annoying as fans to not just be in the know. It shouldn't be a surprise at the end when you keep calling it the last season.
There's gonna be even a bigger surprise. Watch next year once part 3 comes out. Then announce, hey, guess what, guys?
No, they can't.
There's not that much content left.
It's 8 chapters. It's 8 chapters. It's like a bunch of action sequences and then a disappointing ending. Like that's it.
Don't say disappointing. Don't say disappointing.
You said it, Val. You and Tone have agreed.
I didn't say disappointing.
That ending sucks,
okay, no,
Val.
I did. You're right. I did say that. I remember saying that. I definitely said it was disappointing.
I'm gonna have to read
I got nothing. I was gonna try to clean it up so it doesn't give away too much, but you know what? We did the spoiler word. Yeah, I sure did.
It's not Game of Thrones season 8 bad. It's just disappointing.
Okay.
Right. I mean, it worked for what it was, but I didn't like what it was. Kind of
exactly. No, you're gonna watch dead ass. The second to last episode, you're gonna be like, "This is the greatest Attack on Titan episode I've ever watched." And you'll be like, "I can't wait. How are they gonna follow it up with that ending?" And you'd be like, "Well, fuck."
Oh, go ahead.
It just felt like he didn't know how to finish it. It's a lot. It's just a lot.
That's so bad. It's like, as a writer, you need to know how to end your series. Yeah. So many things, it's like you get started and you don't know how they end, and they just like wing it, and then you get a Game of Thrones, you get a Dexter. I mean, like, how many seasons of things we've been watching for forever, and it's just like, yeah.
Yo, me and Val.
We might get an alternate ending if they expand it to 12, the 8 chapters to 12 episodes. We might get something we didn't expect. That would be great.
Come on.
Maybe.
I don't know. I think people would be pissed at that.
I want an alternate ending. I'd be happier with an alternate ending.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that. If it's already disappointing, change the ending. Cool. I'm cool with that.
I'm going to change it. I just want more. Like expanded. Like the 40 pages of that chapter, it just felt rushed. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of like reading it and you're like, I don't get what the point is. What's going on? And maybe in the show, they'll just expand on it and it'll feel worth it. But the manga, it just doesn't. You go from one chapter, that second to last chapter, to that last chapter, and it just doesn't feel connected.
The energy fades. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's bad writing. That's too bad.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Blackness.
But let's talk about the last 5 minutes of that episode was not horrible.
I got you. I got you right now. So,
okay.
All that I said, like this entire part of this season, or this season in general. So, me coming back to Attack on Titan took a lot. It literally took Tone going, yo, you need to get into this. Showed me season 3 when I already left at like season 1, and I was like, you took too long to give me season 2. He was like, here's season 3. The first couple seconds of the episode, I was like, fuck it, I'm in. But now we're like, they have a lot of intrigue. Like, it's not even the fights. Like, this season was not about the fights. It was literally about the oh shit moments at every fucking turn. Like, how do you outdo yourself? And they just keep doing it. Like, oh yeah, like this. And we're like, oh, okay, you're right. You got it.
Right.
Now, I think leading up to this, like this ending, we all had that like, bet this is gonna be the big finale. Let's go. And then for them to go, nah, but not really, was whack. So I like a good like flashback and give you context. That would have been great if they sprinkled that in beforehand. If they sprinkled that in on their way over to like, meeting with the rest of these guys before they even took the ship. Like way before. Getting it now, like, granted, in context, Mikasa has the time to actually think about this, but otherwise it doesn't really do anything for me. Like, it just doesn't.
Yeah. See what I mean? That was what I was thinking too. I'm like, why am I getting this information now? This is the finale.
Because this should have been something. It should have been a longer season instead of what we got. So if this was like the center point,
right? That would have been.
Then it would flowed, and we wouldn't be thinking this is the last episode.
Yes.
We wouldn't feel the way we did.
Absolutely.
So because we were anticipating last episode, let's go in, and you're giving us flashbacks.
Right.
Right.
But I will say it does give us a lot of the context that for Eren, for Mikasa, and for the rest of it, like you now know a lot of what's at stake for everybody in this. Like, everyone has some level of why they want to stop Eren, why they sided with Eren, why, like, all of it. Everything's like kind of out there for you. Getting to the end though. So this whole time I'm like, how the fuck are these like colossal whatever Titans how are they getting across? And I was like, oh, they're legit swimming. Like, they're actually, in my head, I was like, they're not big enough to just walk the fucking way under. No, they are fucking torpedoing their way, and just clouds of like,
do you see how the guy burned when they passed by?
Melted.
It was like in seconds, and the way they drew that and illustrated it was just freaking lit.
Let's give context, because everyone's been seeing the like when they got to the shore and they can see like the clouds ahead of them. They're like, oh, they're already like a ways ahead of us. It was like that gives you context for how many there are and what kind of like what's about to go down, right? But seeing it from the Marleyan side, where they're like, all right, we are literally the last stand because we know what's about to come, but they don't know what's coming. They don't like, no one can fathom on that side what exact, because for all they know, they have a few, like, at most they've seen the Colossal Titan. At most.
Maybe once?
Maybe one time.
That thing is so dangerous, though. It's like it can't be utilized like the jaw and like the armor. It's like those guys can show up and fight. Colossus shows up and kills everybody. It's a nuclear bomb that goes off.
These guys are bigger than the Colossal Titan, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, they're all Colossal.
They're all Colossal Titans.
It's an army of Colossals.
So you have an army of Colossal Titans, and then you get like the entire like You're like, all right, cool. You're getting people getting knocked. Hi, Alex. So you're getting these Titans getting.
I'm dead.
You're getting these Titans
you missed like, the whole Moonknight discussion.
Right? You're getting these Titans eliminated. You get a little bit of like, you give them enough hope of like, okay, you got some
for 2 seconds.
For 2 seconds, and I knew that there was like, yo, there's literally not enough bullets. There's not enough reload time. Like, y'all need to keep shooting.
Like,
do
keep shooting. Why stop? You keep shooting. Like, I'm like, what are they doing?
Pause with pride. No, keep fucking going. Keep fucking. What are you doing? So like, cool. Then you get them coming out like with the steam, and you're just like destroy that entire fleet, right? Now you get to shore.
Maybe.
These guys don't even like, they've maybe fired once, but you get these guys looking and they're just, nah, I'm out. I'm running. And it's that like response of like, yo, there's no way you can outrun this thing. Why? Like, you can accept your fate, but like, you're going to run to attempt to escape these things. You're not. There's nothing that's like going to outrun these things. It's impossible. So you get that. The most terrifying thing is what fucking Aaron looks like at the end. Because you're just like, holy shit.
Oh, is this the first time they show him like that? Is
Yep.
Yeah. So you see
Okay.
Aaron. So you see Aaron like this, and like, oh my god. So it's a terrifying sight for not only the fact of like what he looks like, but how massive he looks, and then the fact that they know that he's the Attack Titan.
Mhm.
So they're looking at him going, holy
And the
shit.
Founding Titan and the Warhammer Titan.
Yes.
They're just like, holy shit. But I don't think the Marleyans know that he has the other two. I think they know he has the Founding
they
Titan.
know.
No, they know.
You know.
They know he has all three because I
Yeah.
think they saw him take the Founding or the
Right.
Warhammer one.
He
They saw him
killed the
take-
Warhammer, at
But
Liberia.
at
is that what
the-
they call it?
At that conference where where he fights Warhammer, they are announcing that he took the Founding Titan.
Oh,
as
that's
well.
right.
That guy, Willie.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
From the
that's even
family
more
of
terrifying. They know he has
Tiber.
3 Titans,
Tiber,
3 Titan
yes.
power, and they're looking at just his face of the Attack Titan, and they're like, no,
Attached
like,
to a giant skeletal
skeleton.
parasite.
Like,
Yeah, it's
so, like, I want to know. I
Massive.
want to know if he's just gonna like form into something, or if that's just who he is.
Wait
Like,
till you
I want to
it.
see what
Oh
happens.
my god!
So
Is he walking on those?
I'm
On
excited
his
for what
ribcage?
happens next.
If
But like,
they
give it to me
animate it
now.
the way it's in I'm telling you, the fight scenes that's to come, and it's what I imagine it to look like. It's going to be epic. It's
But
just
give
I
but
wanted
give
it
to
already.
me- right, but give it to me now.
Yeah.
Right. But do they
I
have
think
it and
if
they're
they, I
sitting
think
on
if they
it,
would have
or are
done
they not done?
a
Like,
2-part split where they did
I-
like in
okay.
between, like they did the beginning of this, all the way up until like maybe just when they took the airships or the ship, right?
yeah.
Cut it. That's a part 1. Then you do part 2 from like this episode on. It would have made more sense for me, or would have at least
I
felt
agree.
better.
that
I
would have
agree.
made more sense. That really would have
Because
made more
that's a
sense.
good pivotal,
I
like
think-
you know.
Yeah.
I think somewhere and during the production of when they were releasing the second part, that's when they decided to do a part 3 and they didn't tell fans, and that's what got me upset about it. But other than that, I'm happy we got the show. I'm happy we have the studios working on the show because, you know, if you're a fan of Attack on Titan, you know the full year gaps that we have between season
Yeah.
1
Oh my
and season
God.
2.
It was
But,
2
it was
years, wasn't
rough.
it?
Yeah, it was about 2 years.
Yeah.
I like the hype died so much that I literally was like, I'm good. And it was like, no, you have to. And Tone was like, bro, sit your ass down, watch this fucking fight. And I was like, you know
That
what,
was-
Tone, you're right. I'm
That was
sold.
the Levi fight, right?
Yes,
Yes,
I
it was. Levi
you
through the
were-
city.
Levi.
I was like,
Yes.
you absolutely
Levi's
right.
so
Tone, you
amazing.
fucking
I
right,
love
dude.
Levi. He's one of my
Levi,
him and Mikasa are my favorite characters in the whole thing.
that one of the Mikasa's fights, and I think it's like the second to last episode where she's fighting the other
Oh,
Jaegerist, and she's just chopping him, and it's
She's
so
a
brutal. She uses
problem.
somebody's
That episode was so
body as a
good.
shield and like stabs someone through the body, and I was like, that's badass.
It was
Yeah.
funnier just to watch her like see Leageris, who thought, oh, I'm gonna go, like she can't catch me, and they were like, motherfucker, here I am, like she just popped up on the other side of them, and they're like, oh shit, it's too
Oh,
late
shit.
at that point.
Mhm.
By the
There's
time
70
you
years
react to
when
her,
season-
you're already dead.
This season they focus a lot more the transition where they're no longer killing Titans. They're
Right.
killing other
Yeah.
people. And you
Yeah.
see that they were able to depict that
Yes.
actual struggle.
Mhm.
And where it's people that they've trained with, people that they,
Mhm.
have built.
Oh.
It's just so that last episode where
You
they
also
blew
see
up
their
on
levels
the,
of skill.
Yeah.
you
Yeah, and
also
Connie
see,
and
like,
Daz. I know which one you're talking about, Val, where they go to the airship
yes,
and there's
Yes.
Daz and that other guy, and Connie's like, why did you make me do this? You know what I mean? He had to
Exactly,
shoot him
and
up. Oh, it's so heartbreaking.
it's so
Emotional
good.
scene.
The way
And Armin
Oh.
can't do anything because
Yeah,
if he
'cause
does,
he'll
he kills
kill them all.
everybody.
right, they don't have a flight. That boat would be gone.
Yeah.
He can't even. It was just so the way that was done.
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That episode should have been a finale for the first season.
Yeah.
I mean, they have such
fucking
good
Armin-
writers.
Armin is one of my favorite characters, and you see how much he's conflicted. Like he's
Yeah.
grown so much throughout this entire series, but
Absolutely.
you see the conflict when they're looking at him about to, like, you know, they're like,
Pull the
all right,
trigger.
we're waiting for the call, and then you got the gun. He's like,
He's
like,
constantly self-doubting
"Oh,
himself.
what?
Yeah.
He
And then
thinks
for
he thinks he would
who made
deserve
the
to.
comparison, like, oh, it was Annie. Annie was like, oh, if you were Erwin, he would have made this decision faster or something. Like she
Yeah.
made some underhanded comment. And I was like, Yo, that's cold.
And that's always what he's comparing himself to,
Yeah.
whether or not he's good
Yeah.
enough and whether or not he should have been the one chosen over Erwin.
Right.
It's a constant struggle within himself. So it's the way that especially the main three characters, the way they've written them and grown through this series from when they started, it's amazing. I still love the show. I'm just not happy with what they decided to do.
I'm just glad that they let Connie and why can't I think of Jean? Like, I'm glad they let them grow too.
Yes.
Because if they would have had them for this long and they're still like they didn't feel as connected to the world, and they were just like
side
other
stuff.
guy, I would have been upset. Like Connie, I genuinely felt bad for this entire season. I was just like, yo, someone hug that man. Like,
especially with his mom situation and him trying to feed the kid.
Broke my heart. But then, like, nothing. John, like,
losing Sasha
leadership in this season, where like he's trying to be the leader and trying to make decisions, but then is conflicted by the fact that he's like, yo, fuck Aaron, but fuck all y'all too. Like, all you motherfuckers are crazy. Like, what are you like? Are we really doing this right now?
Yep.
It's like, how come no one is talking? Why can't we talk? He's like, how many times have we tried to talk? Let's keep trying to talk.
Yeah.
When in early seasons, John was not that dude to talk. John was about those hands, and he was a fucking loudmouth like asshole.
But didn't he want to be in Walrose in the inner office? He didn't even want to be a scout.
Want to be there.
He wasn't trying. He was trying to live the sweet life. Like he was not with it.
About that.
And like Aaron guilted him into it.
Yeah.
He was that clerk. It's like, I'm not even supposed to be in here today.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're at that hour. Again, this has been a
good
great
episode, man.
Love it.
Can I just say something real quick about Attack on Titan, which made me laugh really hard? When Reiner was sitting at the table with his family and he was talking about how terrible the Paradiso devils were, and he was like, this girl on the first day stole a potato. And I was like, he's reliving the Sasha potato. And that was his excuse of why they were so terrible, was Sasha stealing a potato. And then she cut it in half, but it wasn't even close to being half.
Rest in peace to the homie Sasha. She was so good.
It was so simple back then. So simple.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was really funny.
I would have never imagined where it is now watching that first season.
Yeah.
It's evolved to a completely different show.
Yeah.
That just shows you the writing, the animation, and it's been done by 2 different studios.
I mean, AOT's just always been good about just expanding on what they've built. Like, they're just giving you more info and more info and more info. So
and that's kind of how I strive to write too. I'll tie it up.
You're doing it.
You're doing it.
You're
already doing it.
Yeah, perfect timing. Perfect segue.
I love writing. I mean, if you guys like I Am Legend, Mad Max, spaghetti westerns, apocalypse, zombies, anything like that, that's what this comic book is. I take you for a ride through the Wild West, which is 10 years into the apocalypse. We follow Jude St. Clair and his horse Prince. We get to experience all sorts of things, the fall of mankind, the fall of the earth. You get undead people, undead bears, undead animals, undead insects. There's a million ways to die in this world, but there's still no escape. Our Kickstarter goes live on April 15th. I would love if you could click on our link for our pre-launch page and hit that notify me green banner. If you click on there and put in, like, sign in to Kickstarter, we'll send you an email when we go live. Don't miss out on those early bird specials, that early bird sticker and those patches from the Riot scene. I only have 50 of those each, but we got all sorts of different covers. We have Marco's beautiful cover with the shattered glass. We have a Big James cover. We have a Jude cover, which is so reminiscent of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's great. And then I have another cover that's coming, which shows like the disc, the broken disc, and a horde of zombies and all their gory glory, which will be awesome. Lots of good things. At the $100 level, we will actually draw you into the comic book, but again, we're probably gonna kill you like pretty quick. It's just because that's how we roll. So it'll be fun times. You'll see yourself, and then we'll squish you. What?
But are we dead though?
You're undead, and I can bring you back at any time.
There you go.
That's right. So I mean, that's the cool part about this world, is that no matter what happens, we can always see you again. So yeah, follow us on Kickstarter. We go live April 15th. We're doing a 30-day campaign, trying to get funded, like, first couple days would be great, and then
Nice.
it's just all cake from there.
Yeah.
We got some stretch goals, we got extra merch, all the stuff that's extra, like the short films and the riddles, is all free. It's not something that we have to hit a stretch goal to have them. They're always going to be included. So you can be part of those short films. You can solve the riddles and go down the rabbit hole and really enjoy this world. So come with me.
Wow, this is
Yes,
awesome.
guys. Make sure you save the date,
Path
guys.
of the Pale Rider, guys.
Yes.
Path of the Pale
Huge.
Rider.
Sounds very dope.
Yes.
We're
Laurie,
on
you
all
wanna-
social medias, Facebook group, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, website. We're on everything. So everything is Path of the Pale Rider. I think on Instagram and TikTok it's at Path of the Pale Rider with an underscore between the words.
Mhm.
And then Twitter we're at Path Pale Rider. So we took out some words. But I mean, we're everywhere.
It's all in the description, guys. The Kickstarter link, everything there. Make sure you click, hit the notify, so when it launches on April 15th, you can fund and try to be one of those first 50 backers. Get that $100 level. Get drawn in the comic and get killed. So that this way, we can kill you. Again, Laurie, I want to thank you for coming on Nerds.
Yeah, absolutely.
this
I
is
had a
awesome.
great time.
Yeah.
And I would be happy to come back.
Yes,
like,
you're always
guys-
welcome back.
Thank you. I was going to say, once my episode is out and delivered, and when you get your copy and read it, then we can talk about all the nasty things I do in the comic book, and like I give you all the skinny
Yes.
about why.
Let's do it.
I got to tell you, once we get to episode 8, it's going to blow your mind.
I can't wait.
Cool.
Yeah, wait. But this has been another great episode of Nerds with Rounds, guys. Catch us next week, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, we're going to be touching up on the first 3 episodes of Halo and Moon
Yes.
Knight episode 2. So, yes, the first 3 episodes of Halo we will talk about, and Moon Knight episode 2. So, this has been your boy, Sebastian.
It's been your boy Law.
And Tone.
And Tone across the hall, but he's frozen.
I think he's frozen. I think we lost him. And we have Val, as always.
Yes, always. I'm always here. I might come back next week. We'll see.
The homie.
I gotta
G
catch
Mac in the
Halo.
building.
I don't have access to Halo though. I don't know.
Tone
But
got
definitely
us.
Moon Knight. I'm with
Apparently
it.
Tone got us. Tone's the plug.
Send that.
Halo.
Send that.
There he
There
is.
he
You told him
There we go.
What's up? I'm sorry, my service keeps cutting in. What are we doing?
We gotta do the ending.
You're saying
We gotta-
goodbye.
Say goodbye. Say Tone from across the hall.
We never do that at the end, but all right, fine. Told from across the hall. Later, everybody.